Kool Geeks Tribunal, eternal, forever.
All right, what's going on, y'all? Kool Geeks Tribunal, full effect. We are here. Want to make sure we continue shouting out all of our hood heroes, our real life heroes. You know, we love to talk about all of the things that's going on in the fictional world, but we bringing it from the fantasy to the reality. Got my man here, Jamal Searcy.
What's up, kid?
My brother.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Let's make sure we all on. We all good to go. All right, so it don't get more heroic than putting your life on the line, coming out the crib every day, knowing how serious of a job it is to be an NYPD officer. A lot of people have a lot of things to say about it. A lot of people have a lot of opinions, a lot of thoughts. There's maybe some accuracy, some misconceptions, but any which way you slice it, it's not an easy job. You know what I'm saying? It's not an easy career, not an easy choice to make. So we definitely want to shout out and salute those that take the time to go out there, do it right, do it with integrity, make sure they respecting the people, respecting themselves, and definitely, you know, being a hero. So in Kool Geek fashion, cups up. Welcome to the tribunal.
Thank you, my guy.
Absolutely. Now, talk to us. Let us know, what is it like to be real live action hero, G.I. Joe style, out here, you know what I'm saying, busting down the criminals, you know what I'm saying? Like let's talk about it.
I mean, it's just like any other job, you know. You go out there.
Let's come a little closer to it. Let's make sure we get all this jewels you dropping.
It's just like any other job, you know. We want to come out there and, you know, you want to be proactive. For me, I just wanted to be proactive in the community, you know what I'm saying? And just be that face that I didn't see growing up.
Absolutely.
You know, and, you know, you got to change from inside, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times people, you know, growing up, I always had a misconception about what a police officer represented. And I didn't even have any negative, contact with police. You know what I'm saying? That was just because that's what the hood, that's how it was. You know what I'm saying? You just grow up, you just don't like the police, you know?
Right.
But, you know, it's not until, you know, I met a police officer when I was older, you know what I'm saying? And he dropped some jewels on me, and it just made sense, you know what I mean? And I just wanted to do what he did for me, do it to somebody else coming up, you know what I'm saying? And you can make a difference from the inside out. It doesn't always have to be from the outside, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Word.
So how long you been on the force?
Almost 11 years.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you got some time in. So we know you got some stories. We know you know what I'm saying, you done seen it all.
Yeah, I've seen, you know.
You've seen quite a bit. A lot going on. Yesterday, a lot happened, right? Everybody knows, you know, unfortunately what happened in the Bronx. Yeah. You know, so many lives lost. What is a day like that? You know what I'm saying? What is it like that to see such tragedy happen, go down, have to get that call, you get there, it's chaotic, and you're expected to bring order, and there's babies going now, you know? I mean, how do you deal with that?
That's part of the job. So when you're dealing with infants, you know, having kids of my own, you know, it's difficult. But shout out to FDNY, you know, them guys are, you know what I'm saying, they brave, you know, they running into fire when everybody else is running out.
Right.
So a situation like that was similar when I worked downtown, and it was by the World Trade Center, and this guy, he kind of went onto the West Side Highway where, you know, that joggers path, and he ran over a bunch of tourists, and he was actually trying to go to where the kids went to school by like Stuyvesant High School. And he ended up crashing into a school bus full of kids. And I was one of the first on the scene, and it was bodies everywhere. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You know, obviously your training kicks in and everything they teach you, but you're still human. You know what I'm saying? You still get emotional. But that was probably one of the craziest scenes that I've ever seen, as because it was just bodies everywhere, and you're covering bodies up, and it was crazy.
That's rough.
Yeah, it was definitely. So I saw images of that situation yesterday. I was even somewhat involved when it came to the victims at the hospital. So, that's a rough situation.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a few things too. I think that being in New York, you see a lot of heroic things that, a lot of people, because New Yorkers, we got like a little bit of a rep about us, right? That we're very abrupt, we're abrasive, we're not really engaging. We on the move, it's a hustle and bustle town, everybody's on the grind. But I think that there is something to be said about like that New York spirit, right? Like, I've seen certain things, people just jumping in to help or whatever the case is. Have you had any civilians that you've seen that maybe put you at or like, oh wow, like yo?
Oh no, on a daily. So like if we're chasing someone, like you have civilians jump in and tackle the guy.
Wow.
You know what I mean? There's countless civilian arrests, where they're holding the perpetrator before we even get there.
Right.
And we get there and we execute the arrest. So yeah, people are more for the police than what the media actually wants to portray.
Okay.
I do understand, because at the end of the day, I'm a black man first, so I do understand what goes on,
right,
why people have these ill feelings.
Right.
But I just think more of us should join, and if we're policing our own neighborhoods, then we got, the kids growing up, they can see something that looks like them.
Right.
You know what I mean? People that can relate to them, that come from where they come from. You know what I'm saying? Being, raised in the projects, I know how that feels. You know what I mean? I can relate to you. I know not everybody on the corner is selling drugs.
Right.
I mean, I know there's not outlets for us to do certain things. We don't have many outlets to go to. Think the people that we look up to is not always ideal.
Right.
That's all we got to look up to. You know what I mean? And like for you it seems like with your escape was always the comic books.
Absolutely.
I mean? Which is ill,
Yeah.
It's never the police or the firemen or, corrections or whatever. It's always the negative, or that's what they like to portray.
Yeah. So like when you look at like all of the things that you've had to encounter, right? We know when we're sitting in the movie theater, we're watching these superhero movies, right? Like Spider-Man, whether you grew up and were into reading the comics or not, everybody seems to love the movies. So for yourself, when you go to a movie and you see, somebody portraying a police officer, or you see somebody with these superpowers and they're like, maybe they're swinging around, they're flying all over the screen or whatever the case is, how do you perceive that, being that your job is to do the same thing that they're doing, but like, okay, that's fake, that's real, or is there any degree of it that you respect?
Yeah, no, I respect it all. I think, it's an escape from the everyday norms and the struggles that we go through. Police officers, we're human. We're just like everybody else. You know what I mean? We go through our ups and downs and our trials and tribulations, on the job and off the job. You know what I mean? I've actually, I appreciate, you showing love, because I've never actually considered myself a hero. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm
just out here, just doing my part. You know what I'm saying? Just like you do your part.
Right.
So, I'm into, I like the Avengers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I didn't grow up on comics or have too much knowledge about it, but I like the movies. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So, we were just talking off the set about Falcon and everything.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. So.
Yeah, that's dope. It's a lot of inspiration with it. It's it's things that, like, you know, when you reading it, you grow up reading it, and you come from certain communities where maybe you're made to feel like a second-class citizen or less than, or whatever the case is, and you know, you're treated sometimes like innately like, nah, you're just a criminal right off the bat, right? So now you come up in certain systems where you know that there's institutional racism, there's systematic racism, and many times we're demonized to make it easier to be criminalized, right? And then, you know, a lot of things come as a result of that. So when it comes to, like, say, a younger person that may feel intimidated, right? Like, say they didn't necessarily do anything, like you said, you know, boom, not everybody on the block is up to no good. What's the best way for a young person to be like, okay, look, I'm being confronted by the authorities. How should I handle myself?
Well, I just think any type of authority, you know what I'm saying, from young, you know, we're taught to respect authority, right or wrong. You always respect authority. So it's always the best thing is to be compliant. And,
right.
You know, sometimes people think being compliant is actually, I don't know, turning a blind eye or being a sucker. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, you know what I'm saying? You can still, you know, maintain your manhood and be compliant at the same time. You know what I mean? I think that's the best course of action, is to always be compliant. You know, if it's something wrong, if something happens wrong, then you take it up after, but be compliant always first. I would say that for like the young kids coming up. You know what I mean?
So cooler heads prevail.
Absolutely. You know and I always do, like, you know, I do stuff with cops and kids. So, you know, we have like basketball and football and all these things with cops and kids. And, you know, you'll be surprised how many that's never even spoken to a cop before.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they looking at you like, you know, like, what are you doing in a uniform or something like that? So it's really good to always pick their brain, you know what I'm saying, and see where they're coming from. Like I said, it wasn't cops growing up that I was even interested in speaking to when I was young, because I just had this, you know, this perception of police officers. So
right. So do you see like an increase in more of us like joining that, you know, is, you know, that can possibly help with, you know, just making like the you know, just bringing the communities, everybody together?
I don't see an increase, but I do. But the ones that's on the job, I see how much effort that they put in. You know what I mean? I see a lot of minority cops, as well as Caucasian cops, you know what I'm saying, actually putting in a lot of work, you know what I'm saying, to try to bridge that gap of us in the community right now, especially in the state of the world and the perception of police officers. So I definitely see that, you know.
Right.
But what I would like to see more is, you know, young black male officers. You know what I'm saying? That would be, I think that's dope. You know, it's a dope career. Not everybody's going to be a LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's going to be, you know, that big, you know, Russell Wilson or Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's other things that we can do and be successful. You know what I mean? And have a sense of pride or gratification at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely.
I would love to see that, you know, more young black men join the force.
I mean, maybe, you know, sometimes, you know, they do cool things, right? Like they'll have like a career day at the school, you know, come through, show the kids like, what is it like, you know, make it a little bit more palpable for them, you know, like, yo, I could touch this, I could feel this, you know what I'm saying? And things like that.
I think sometimes it's programmed in us, you know. I know sometimes I see parents, if their kids are acting up, they be like, you see the officer right there? If you don't stop, he's going to get you. So the kid is almost programmed to be afraid.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, he's going to take you to jail if you keep acting up. You know what I mean? And that's not what we represent. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I represent.
Right.
You know, so we just have to change the narrative. You know what I mean? And we have to do more from our part. And then I think the community has to also step up.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that's real important. You know what I mean? So going, like you said, going to the schools and speaking to, you know, that's all of that's important, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. So superheroes.
Yeah.
They're synonymous with their costumes, right? They're synonymous with their look. You know, like you take a look at the little wall right here. You see everybody got their colors on and they got different distinctive uniforms, right? When, as a police officer, I guess for yourself and then also maybe just generally speaking, right? When a police officer goes getting ready for the day, you know what I'm saying? You're in the locker room getting yourself on. Now you put that uniform on.
Right.
Is there a certain level of confidence, a certain level of like, yo, okay, I'm good to go now. I feel more brave. I
don't know if you feel more brave, but yeah, you have that sense of pride. I would say that, I think, but that should be with anything you do. Like if you're a doctor, or you throw that 3-piece suit on, you want to look good,
right?
The same thing if you're a doctor, you throw on your scrubs, you want to, go out there. So I think definitely there's a sense of pride. I don't know if it makes you more brave. You know what I'm saying? We talked before. I think humans are innately brave. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they like if they see someone fall in the tracks, like we was talking about, like you'll be surprised how many people would jump in the tracks and risk their own life to save someone.
Yo, that was crazy when I saw that.
And that's like an everyday occurrence for us. You know what I mean? Like today, for instance, there was someone got hit by a vehicle riding a scooter, and in the middle of the street, you see so many people helping this man before we even get on scene. You know what I mean? So, I still have faith in people. You know what I mean? It's just the world is just it's going through a rough time right now.
Yeah, it's crazy right now. But to that story, as far as the person falling in the tracks is wild. I'm on the train, I see the lady, the train is packed, lady standing over me, and I see her reacting, so it makes me turn around what you see going on, right? So now I look behind me, and no sooner than I turn around, and this lady on the on the downtown side of the platform, she falls into the tracks. This dude hops off, jumps down, tries to help her up. Now, she's a heavyset woman, so trying to lift her wasn't the easiest thing. So she slips through his arms. He's looking down the tunnel like, yo, I don't know, I'm about to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That fight or flight kicks in. But then this other guy, he hops down and then he tries to help him lift her up. So the two of them, they, get their strongman on, get the Incredible Hulk thing popping and get up on the platform. Another person grabs her, helps her on.
And to me, those guys are heroes.
Right. And then they all start pulling her up. So it was and then they helped pull, this guy. So everybody was good.
Yeah.
Days when the uniform isn't on, you're not on duty. Is it all right to step in with the same level of authority, or does it has to be where you're clocked in and that's when you're able to kind of
technically we're always on duty.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's almost no such thing as not on duty. Like you're always on duty. If you see something,
say something.
If criminality is happening in front of you, you have to take action.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
So it's like you're sworn to it.
Correct.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? We're it's like automatically, and then it happens automatically,
right?
Without you even knowing, you're already involved.
Right.
You've been doing it every day for so long.
Right.
It becomes a part of your life,
Right.
But I guess you can compare me in the police department to basically how you review comics and not seeing a lot of black superheroes in the comic books. That's how I looked at when I was joining the police department, not seeing a lot of black faces in the police department. I wanted to, you know what I mean? Because I know, like you said, your favorite is Luke Cage. But,
yeah, right now, definitely on my Luke Cage.
You know what I mean? So, it's the same type of thing, So, that's what inspired me,
Right.
Just not seeing more of us, like being a change that I want to see.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So growing up in the era that we came up, right? So growing up in the era that we came up in, being little kids in the 80s.
People don't know we knew each other for 30 years.
Yeah. We go back like car seats, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is real right here, right now. So, Cup's up on that too, by the way. You know what I'm saying? We gotta, That's real right there, because you know some people, they can't, you know, go 2 months without it, you know, something falling apart.
Right.
You know, but so that's real and something to salute within itself. We grew up in an era where it was like we had Cobra, we had over the top Sylvester Stallone movies, we had Arnold Schwarzenegger, we had Thundercats, He-Man, everything, right? G.I. Joe. Mm-hmm. Is there any elements that you see, like, you know, that you may have as a little kid be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of...
I was a G.I. Joe fanatic growing up, you know what I'm saying? I literally wanted to go to the military, you know, but my mom's wasn't having that, you know what I mean? at one time, you know, you fill out the thing online, but she wasn't with it, you know, so... But I grew up, I wasn't really, like I said, I wasn't really into the comics and all that, but G.I. Joe was kind of ill to me because, you know, it was just like warfare, you know what I mean? When that was dope, you know, so.
Yeah, now G.I. Joe was dope, man. I mean,
because it's basically like Germany and United States of the World War type thing, you know what I mean? Cobra is basically Hitler. Cobra Commander is Hitler, and, you know. Yeah,
that was our first introduction to terrorism, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. They let us know there was a terrorist organization for real.
So, I you know, just watching a lot of these comic book movies, you'll see how it loosely plays on things that's going on in life today, you know?
Right, absolutely.
So I actually didn't even know about the Black Panther until the movie came out. I didn't know it was a real comic book, you know what I mean? So it's crazy.
Yeah, he's serious. That character, you know, shout out to Chadwick Boseman, you know what I'm saying? You know, rest in peace to that brother. That's, you know, sad. We lost a real one with that. Word. But that movie within itself was like super inspirational. It's a great character. Like, you know, he took on Ku Klux Klan to Thanos, you know what I'm saying? The Black Panther. So he's been all over the place. When did he started? I think it was in the early 70s, maybe late 60s. Okay. Late 60s, yeah.
I ain't even, because that was never, you know, growing up, I always saw the comic books, but it was always X-Men, Spider-Man, you know, those was always on the forefront. Mm-hmm. Like Batman, Superman, but never, you know what I'm saying, you never saw us.
Right,
you
right.
You never had that, you know, even in movies, you know what I'm saying? Like the first action superhero we saw was Blade, like Wesley Snipes. Or,
yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, he played in Passenger 57 and those type of movies where he's a black superhero, but he's like what we saw, you know what I mean?
Right.
We was looking up to him as Nino Brown. We was
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what people can relate to him because that's what they want us to
Sugar
see.
Hill Romeo, exactly. What was it? Romeo. Yeah, Romello. Right.
You know so that's what they wanted, you know?
Right.
And he literally had to do that first until he can break out and play those other roles, you know,
right.
drop zone and
Passenger 57 and all that. Yeah.
So he was, you know, but he's the first that I saw. You know, I mean, I know the 70s had Jim Brown and everything like that, and you know.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like in my era, you know what I'm saying? Wesley Snipes was the first, and then Blade was like the first superhero, and he was like a superhero villain. He was ill though, you know.
Yeah, anti-hero.
Yeah, anti-hero.
But that's the thing. A lot of people don't know. Like Blade got his start in Spider-Man.
See, I didn't know that.
You know what I'm saying? He first debuted in Amazing Spider-Man. So, you know, he's been all in the Marvel thing and all that. And what's Mashallah?
What?
Mashallah? I can't. Mashallah Ali. Yeah. He's going to take over the role of Blade now.
What he played in?
He was in that he was in Luke Cage. He was Cottonmouth. In Luke Cage.
Oh, that guy.
The bad dude, yeah.
He's going to take over.
Right.
Okay.
So I don't know how they're going to do that as far as continuity now.
He kind of old. I want to see a young Blade.
A young Blade?
I don't want to see an old guy play Blade. I want to see... No, I'm just serious. I want to see like an up-and-coming new young guy. Like,
right.
You know, you don't want to see Blade. That guy's like 50 years old or something. You want to see Blade at 50?
I mean,
Wesley Snipes can play him then. That's
redo it again, right? You know what's ill, though? I mean, he might pull it off, though, because Michael Keaton, remember Michael Keaton was old when he did Batman back in 89. Like, I mean, he looked old. I think he had a receding hairline to be Bruce Wayne.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he pulled it off to the point where they even bringing him back now to reprise his role in Alter, multiverse thing and all of that for DC.
Like with these things, everything is a remake. You know what I'm saying? They keep remaking Spider-Man, or they keep remaking all of these movies. Like, when they just can't come up with something new, you know? If I feel like the creative side of things is definitely taking a back seat. Everything's a remake.
Yeah. So even like right now, like I spoke with my last guest, shout out to Rashida Frazier again. We spoke on that topic as well, as far as, Superman now is going to be played by Michael B. Jordan, right?
I think that's super dope.
So you feeling that one?
I'm feeling that. I think that's dope.
Okay.
That's dope.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering, like, what I'm saying, based on what you were saying, like what your take might be on that.
I think he can pull it off because he got that geeky side about him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But he also can seem like he can go in the booth and become Superman.
Right.
I think that's dope. I didn't know about that.
Right.
I didn't know, but I think that's dope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we definitely loved him as Killmonger, as I said before. And all his roles, Just Mercy, everything that he's done, he's been great with it.
He's another one that kind of started off as a hood kid in The Wire that had to kind of get out of that.
Right.
And it's just unfortunate that we always have to start that way. You know what I mean? Just to, to come full circle back around. But hey,
sometimes I think that's part of like the conditioning of like what I was saying. It's like, you demonize a group of people. Mm-hmm. And then when through media outlets, whether it be movies, the news, or, then it's easier to criminalize certain groups of people, right? And then when you have, like, you ever notice, like, sometimes when the news interviews people in the street, it seemed like they try to get the craziest brother they could find.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So he could talk out of his mind, and he'd be like, and then people that don't really know us and, may not even want to give us a shot as actual people and not animals, then they might be like, see what I'm saying? Like, look at him. But I'm like, yo, we don't even want to talk to that brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't represent us. You know what I'm saying? He's his own thing. He's doing his own thing, Yeah. But, we know the tricks of chicanery, all of it, that's played or whatever. But, fortunately, we got brothers like yourself, that are doing a thing and need to be highlighted and need to be shown, so that way the narrative, can hopefully change over time.
And it's crazy. It's like when I first joined the fight. I mean, even now with people watching or people seeing this, a lot of people don't even know I'm a police officer. I was almost ashamed of it in the beginning. Not ashamed, but just concerned about how people I grew up with, and was my hood car gonna be pulled? You know what I mean? Like,
you're gonna be welcomed back around the way, right?
Right. You know what I'm saying? How people are gonna view you,
right?
I mean? And believe it or not, it was like it was surprisingly like a good reception. You know what I mean? When the people that do know, it was just like, yo, they
salute.
Right. You know what I mean? So the people, the misconception is that people don't want to see you shine or grow, but that's not the situation. You know what I mean? People are rooting for us, and me and a couple of my friends I grew up with that, you went to high school with, and they're doing well. You know what I mean? And that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with this all the craziness going on around the planet that's affecting everybody, things spreading like wildfire, everybody's, not feeling well. How has it affected the just the workforce? Is it like any shortages? Are you over? Is any overworked? Is it just like you know what?
Absolutely, it's like I believe it's like either 25% down. So now you got to pick up the slack for people that's not there. So wow. And we've never had we never worked from home. We never had that break.
Yeah, there's no remote.
We was never we would never quarantined, anything like that. You know what I mean? We worked straight through it, So we've experienced everything, So we're on the front line. So a lot of officers are getting sick and firefighters and everything like that. Correction officers, you know, being inside with the inmates and stuff like that. I mean, it's not easy, especially right now. It's not easy, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you push through though, you know. This too shall pass, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It's wild because it's like, you know, you see the streets right now is looking it's looking a little crazier.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with like the COVID situation where the hospitals don't have enough room they don't have enough room for patients that's sick. So a lot of the mental people that's in the hospital have mental issues. They have to say, okay, they have to determine, okay, this person's not that bad as long as they stay on their meds, and they let them go, and now they're in the streets, you know, because they're off their meds or whatever the case may be. So I think and the fact that it's not as many people in the streets as before, so the homeless people that are out there seems more magnified. But I think with this new mayor, I think he's pretty good. I think he's going, you know, he's bringing back a lot of stuff that I think is gonna correct things in the streets.
Right.
So let's see what he's gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, you know, give the brother a chance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He just got there, you know, let's see what he does.
I feel like he's, you know, I can't turn on the TV without seeing him, so I feel, you know, he working.
He working, right?
He working, you know, and it's and I like the stance that he took with that what happened yesterday, that tragic incident that happened in the Bronx. That, you know,
Yo, that was crazy. That fire, man, like, you know, wow.
Yeah, that was rough. That's, you know, like I said, shout out to FDNY. Them guys do their thing, you know.
Yeah. There's heroes all over the city, man. There's, you know, in all forms, walks of life, just, you know, employment, you know, and just people that definitely deserve shine. So, you know, as much as we like to wait on these long lines to catch these flicks, as much as they're highly anticipated, inspirational as they can be, you know, being a comic book head, growing up, reading the books, and just finding inspiration out of it myself. There's nothing like, you know, something that you can really touch, something that, you know, you can really see that's like moving around in your neighborhood, that's like, you know, doing good, you know what I'm saying? Because no matter what your check is, like, how do you equate, you know, the amount of the threats that you daily encounter, you know what I'm saying? And God forbid, like, the possibility of what could come from, you know what I'm saying, those threats. Like, it's just not enough money in the world, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just police, firefighters, teachers, doctors, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know, just, you know, or just all types of people, you know what I'm saying? Good Samaritans.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Like yourself, that's actually putting the information out there, you know, it's needed. You know what I mean? So salute to you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, man, you know, we definitely trying to do something, you know. It's not the woo is for the kids. You know what I'm saying? We all for the kids, you know what I'm saying? So we
I like the spin that you're doing with this Kool Geeks thing, like, you know, how you talking about the comic books and you bringing to light how, you know, the comic book is loosely based on stuff that's going on in the world. Like, I had no idea, you know what I mean? Like, until I started watching your show, like, oh,
yeah,
okay, like, that makes sense now. Like, I didn't even see it from that perspective until you broke it down to me. So
yeah, I appreciate it, man. And I mean, and that's the thing where a lot of times people will kind of like dismiss it, right? So I always kind of found it funny that in my own way going through school, like, I was kind of cool with everybody, right? So, like, in my own quiet way, it was kind of like probably the most popular kid. Why? Because whoever was the cool kids, I was cool with them. You play ball, you chilling, whatever. I'm there. You like comics, you like to draw, you like to read, and, you know, you into your books. I'm there, and it was all legit. You know what I'm saying? And just seeing that everybody has value.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Everybody has value. So, like, where maybe a person might have been, quote unquote, like, socially awkward, and they might have been cast off. I'm like, nah, actually, that person's all right, though. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, they got some foresight. They can see something. So,
absolutely,
look at how they, you know, they're able to draw and put something together and create and make something out of nothing. That's cool. Yeah, you geeking on it, but it's cool. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you just bring it all together, and it's, you know, we stronger together than being separated, right?
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like for the next generation that may have not had, that, you know, flexibility to maneuver, you know, genuinely between different circles, sometimes you got to try to let people know, like, it's all right to bring it together. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Like I said, in the beginning, when I first joined the force, it was more like, you know, like I said, am I doing the right thing? You know what I'm saying? Do I look like a sellout?
Right.
And I've always had friends that's like, you know, even, you know, my close friends to today tell me, like, listen, man, you know, I appreciate you, what you're doing. You're doing the right thing, you know, all the time. You know what I'm saying? And that's just reassurance, like, all right, you know what I mean? It makes you feel good about yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, it's dope, man. So, and, you know, as a tribunal, everybody's a part of it. Everybody has a say. Everybody has a voice, you know what I'm saying? And you have the right to chop it up on the topic. And cool little fun fact, because you mentioned the X-Men earlier, the X-Men was actually created in 1963 based on the Civil Rights Movement.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So your Professor X was supposed to be a play on Martin Luther King, where Magneto was supposed to be a play on Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? But my only
Why couldn't they make them black characters then?
That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother show. And you're always welcome to come back and we gonna chop it up on all of it. But basically it was just like my issue, I'll leave it at this part for right now, is that with Magneto, if he's a villain, what does that say about Malcolm X? How you viewed him?
Well, I think that's how
saying?
Malcolm was viewed, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
but by who? You know what I'm saying?
No, but even,
you know,
by certain, you know, by people that didn't believe violence was the, you know, it's almost like the Bob Marley type situation. You only can fight hate with love,
right?
And that's how Martin kind of approached things. Well, Malcolm is more like, you know, you hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. You know,
right? What I mean?
Like, you know, you fight fire with fire.
I think most people kind of like that. Well,
100%.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, and that's across the board.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
I think they both played a part and they both were needed. I think they both was needed at that point. You know, one didn't outshine the other. They both were, you know, needed at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we need leaders now. You know what I'm saying? To this day, you know.
Yeah, man. You know, so we hopefully, you know what I'm saying, now a lot of us will start to understand that, like, you know, we all have talents, we all got superpowers, and there's ways of using those things to lead and to make your presence felt in a way that'll help the next generation. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And
what else are we doing if that's the case, right? What else are we doing?
That's it. That's what we're supposed to be here for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, we improve on what our parents did, and then hopefully those that we make will come and do better than us.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And another quick question.
So.
The process to get to where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Close us out on that. Like, what's the process to get, you know what I'm saying, just to enter in for those that may want to join, those that are thinking about it? Mm-hmm. How should they go about, like, getting started?
Well, I mean, you can always go onto the website and, you know what I'm saying, you apply and you take the test, you know, and there's an extensive background check, you know what I mean? Yeah, you just, you know, there's an extensive background check and you just gotta, you just gotta go through the whole process, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. So, you know, if interested in joining, you know what I'm saying, you're going to bring some good, something safe, and serve and protect, you know what I'm saying? You know, all people, then sign up. You know what I'm saying? Definitely sign up, you know what I'm saying, if you're trying to get your hero
brothers,
on.
You know, especially my young brothers, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, on that note, it's great chopping it up with you.
Guy.
Absolutely.
Always.
Yes, indeed. Cups up. Kool Geeks Tribunal. Y'all know what it is. Yo. Keep tuning in, you know what I'm saying? We here, we doing it, and we going to bring it, you know, with full effect to all of y'all bringing it out.
One love.
One. Peace.
Within us all live a Superman, within our souls to survive. Don't you wish you were Superman? Or don't you wish you were Superman?